Bonjour and welcome to all you comic book geeks, readers and collectors. Welcome to another weekly review of the latest titles that are out. I've got a top 10 here-ish. I think there's an extra couple. There's no whinge of the week because it was such a heavy week. It seemed like every publisher had a lot of good stuff. I think I've got 20 odd. I think it was 26, which is ridiculous in 1 week when you think about it. But I love it. So, without any further ado, let's get on to it. We're going to have 5 for a deep dive after the scroll. But I'm going to go through some honourable mentions. And right at the end of this video, we're going to go through, there was a good, obviously where there's over 20 odd comics, there were some good covers. We're going to do cover of the week where we imagine we only had pocket money for one comic. And we are approaching the spinner rack or the shelves with anticipation. And who's going to get your money? Just a little bit of fun at the end of the video. So, let's get on with it. Right, my top five for this week. Creature from the... This has been such a moody, evocative. The artwork from Matthew Roberts is so atmospheric. See what I did there? Pluck that out of nowhere. Yeah, they're doing a really good job of making a kind of, set in the Amazon. And anyway, we're going to do a deep dive on that. Grommets. Now this, I did have a skateboard and I wasn't part of the LA or the California scene, but this is just a good comic. This is a great slice of life storytelling. That's just funny. He's Rick Remender. He's just let himself go with this one, and to be fair, he's also let himself go with this one. The second Rick Remender, my God, Pigeon really amps it up in this issue. And if you like your fantasy straight, like if you like your fantasy serious, po-faced, Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings, then that isn't it. But in that issue, it kind of lent heavily on all of those tropes that you need, all of those fantasy tropes that you need. But we're on issue 9. Is it 9? We're on issue 9 now, and I just need to show off for Fiumara's work, and alongside Rick Remender, but his artwork. This was a pleasant surprise. This one, I thought they were going to go. I honestly thought they were going to go full indie comic and make it, I don't know, well, boring. I thought that was what they were going to do, but no. Another great match of artist and writer. That 4 great comics there. 4 great comics by a ton of great creators. But book of the week this week, and I am going to gush about it, guys, but this issue, it really did. It landed. Not that it needed to. The first 2 issues were superb. But the build-up from the first 2 issues, introducing the characters, the world building, showing us the jeopardy to come. And then in this issue, Jeff Johns, is some of his best work. What he's doing there with Ghost Machine is definitely his best work. It's almost like he's built up to it. And that is how you do it when you are a writer when you're a professional writer and a storyteller, and then you're teamed up with Jason Fabok. Sorry, I forgot his first name then. I forget something else. And his artwork, absolutely spot on. And some honourable mentions from this week. Like I say, it is a heavy week. Last issue of this series. If you want to get it in trade paperback and you haven't been picking this up, it just does exactly what it says on the tin. What else do you want Black Widow, Captain America and Wolverine to do? And it's a tie-in to X-Men 268, like back in the day. So thoroughly recommend that. That was just a good, solid, obviously it's Claremont and he knows how to do it. He knows how to do it. So if you want kind of like, no, it can't be standard. I was going to say standard superhero fare, but I don't mean that in a condescending or patronising way. I just mean that was, I really enjoyed it. It was old school, yeah, and it would be worth picking up. It's a shame that Marvel doesn't turn these into trade paperbacks that have got a decent price point, to be fair. But let me know if they do. Let me know if they do, because I think Marvel were on a mission to extract maximum profit, I think. Last issue of this, Rare Flavours, and it's the exact opposite of what I've just mentioned. This is something different, but it's Ram V at his finest, and the artwork by Philippe Andrade. They just created something weird and wonderful and totally unexpected there. Unique. A totally unique story. Do I get it completely? No, I don't. How many issues was it? 6? Yeah, 6 issues. So that's a decent trade paperback. You'll read it and you'll enjoy it, and there are highs and lows. But ultimately, you will wonder, oh, what was that all about? Doesn't make it a bad thing, though, in my eyes. Doesn't make it a bad thing. I thoroughly enjoyed all 6 issues of that. Superman. Here we go. The final, and again, another final issue. But if you haven't picked it up, this Brainiac saga, whatever they're calling it, House of Brainiac. House of Brainiac has been awesome. Artwork supreme from Sandoval. What's his first name? Rafa Sandoval, because I'm not a DC fan, so apologies for that. Joshua Williamson, as always, weaving a decent tale. He knows how to write, the boy. So, yeah, another record. And then following on from that was Absolute Power, Ground Zero. A different, there's 3 or 4, it's a bit of an anthology, this one, but it's kind of like, the stories do follow on. But I've got to say, it's off to a solid start, intriguing, and yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of Waller as a. I don't know why I can't buy into it. I don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is about Amanda Waller that I just cannot accept as a character. I don't know what it is, but anyway, that was good. I'm getting over it. I'm dealing with my problems. This continues to be solid. It's not earth shattering. It won't rock your world, but the Ultimate books, I think the fanfare was. I know Marvel's got a shout about all their new books, but the Ultimate lines. But I think if you push all of the hype and stuff to the side, and I do like Brian Hill's writing on Black Panther, on Blade, and I like his writing in this, and it is continuing apace, this storyline. So yeah, there's some good stuff there. What have I done? I've done 5 already. Oh, there's one more. Void Rivals. The Transformers have turned up now. So if you're not getting this and you're kind of getting you don't know what way to turn with the Energon universe stuff that they're doing, that old Kirkman's doing, do yourself a favour and just dive in, because these boys and girls are writing and drawing great comics, and some of the links are tenuous, like this one with the Transformers, but I love it. I love it, and I can't give away any spoilers. But well, apart from the fact that yes, the Transformers have turned up, and yeah, and it is very good. So after the scroll, we're going to do a deep dive. These new teeth, you know, these new teeth play me up every now and again. We are going to do a deep dive on the top 5, and then we're going to do cover of the week. I've told you that Rook is book of the week. It's all going to be chapterized, so if you're finding any of this boring, you can skip ahead. You can skip and romp along this video all the way to the end, and look at what you want. So I hope you're going to join me for that, whether you're going to join me for the whole thing or skip forth. Join me after the scroll for the top 5. Right, so here we go, guys. I don't think I've mentioned this before since it's come out, but Ram V is one of my favourite writers. Dan Waters, as far as I can tell, is up and coming. Image always produce some great stuff. And Matthew Roberts, I've never seen his artwork before, but like I said before the scroll, his atmospheric artwork is really proving to be the highlight of this kind of almost a supernatural tone to the story, which I'm really enjoying. Like almost like a dreamlike quality to the writing and in conjunction with the art. I mean, an example of these two panels where our main character is swimming, and okay, there's some seaweed, some plant life, and this is in the deep Amazon. So the Black Lagoon is in the deep Amazon, and our main character is after a serial killer who's hiding out in the Amazon. But look at the change up, and in conjunction with the words and in the black water that she's swimming in, which doesn't mean it's oil, it just means it's dark, it's deep. It's really nicely done. It's really, and this was the spread that sold it for me, where you just have to take it in for a moment because you're looking at her floating on the surface, and then your eye is drawn naturally downwards, and that is a beautiful double page spread in a comic called Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives. They're really doing it well. They've modernised it so nicely. Ram V and Dan Waters have modernised it nicely. This guy got mauled by the creature supposedly 30 years ago, and he's conducting autopsies on the bodies of the creature's victims. You know, this is our main character whose story we're following through. And look at it, you know. It's just not what you expect. She's after a serial killer. She wants these two, him and the professor, the lab guy, to help her. And this is the man that she's after, a supposed serial killer. So it's great stuff. It's great stuff. Honestly, I thoroughly recommend that. Obviously, I won't go any further because it will be too spoilery. Glorious cover as well, to be fair. That'll be in the contention for cover of the week. But a nicely atmospheric, moody, gothic horror is how I would sum that up. And the complete opposite to that is this. And here are the 3 gens. In this skateboarding tale, Rick Remender. Brett Parsons' art in this is sumptuous. That's the only way. I know it's a cartoon. That's what this is, this comic book. But it is such a sumptuous. Just look at the you know, to evoke a moment in time where you've got a Hulk, you've got a skateboard, or I assume that's old Johnny Hawk, whatever his name was, dead Kennedys. Look, my God, his artwork is really. There is not a detail miss. Look, even to the. Um, there's a few films that have had these moments with guys and girls. I'm now thinking of Leon when the sister, the sister is doing the aerobics, following the Jane Fonda style of the 80s. But what a look, Kentucky Fried Chicken before it was KFC, and in England, there was a comedy show called The In-Betweeners, and it was about three or four boys at school. They weren't the cool kids, but they were how you and your friends were. They were how you and your friends were at school. And I'm reading this, thinking this is the US equivalent of that program, that comedy show in England, The In-Betweeners. Let me know in the comments if you think that kind of resonates. If you're reading this, if you're English and you're reading this, this is coming across as an American In-Betweeners, where neither of these boys are cool. They are trying to impress the girls. They are falling in love with the girls. They're having their dream sequences. And the three gens, I love it. I love it. Look, Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen with two N's. Oh, this is brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. And what this also represents, everyone, is a breath of fresh air. In amongst the superhero, the horror, the fantasy, we need stuff like this. It doesn't take itself too seriously at all. I hope there are a ton of personal anecdotes in this story from Rick Remender. I really do hope that. And here they go, skating down a parking, you know, as if no one ever did that, either in America or England, as if none of us ever did that on our skateboard against the traffic, against the dodging the cars coming up was part of the thrill. I mean, they don't do that. They don't do that here. But dodging the cars or braking, you know, like, you know, putting your heel down on that skateboard to stop it, you know, your handbrake or your heel brake, should I say. Here's the security guard. Look, it's all kicking off. And hilarity ensues. Look, this is great stuff. Great stuff. Only issue 2. I literally can't wait. Literally can't wait for issue 3 of this. It is excellent. An excellent slice of life comic book. So, and we'll stick with Rick Remender because I don't know the last time I showed you all The Sacrificers, but this issue, look at this Max Fuimara artwork. It is it's been gorgeous since day one. And this issue seems to represent some kind of turning point for Pigeon, which is the main character we've been following all the way through. And these are the gods. These are the gods discussing, you know, what should go on with us mere mortals, until Pigeon turns up with his new powers. I love that sound effect, schwack. Here he is, Pigeon, in all his armour. Now, he's been the Shrinking Violet in the first 7 issues. Issue 8, he gets armour and powers and weapons. But look at this. He really does kick some ass. That's all I'm going to say. He really does. And he's literally a god slayer now. In this issue, he is a god slayer. And it was such a nice, it was such a well-timed, well-crafted ramping up of the character of Pigeon. And it works so well. And just look at the artwork. And to be fair, I do need to shout out to Dave McCaig. Dave McCaig on the colouring, because I think a lot of this, what's going on in all of this artwork, this glorious artwork, is down to Dave McCaig's colouring as well, in conjunction, like a good collaboration. And it's just a great fantasy story that did have it had a lightness of touch up until this issue, but this issue is just out and out kind of violence and, you know, revenge and everything going on. You can see the bloodletting that's going on. So it was unexpected. I love all this. The classic fantasy tropes that Remender and Fuimara are playing with. Love it. It's great. And next up, Zatanna. Now, I've got a soft spot for the character, but I've got to admit, all the preamble for this, and even when I flicked this comic open in the you know, my local comic book shop, it didn't strike me straight away. But nevertheless, I decided to go for it. I thought, right, it looks like something different. You know, little rabbits with surprised expressions on their faces. You know, I'm going to go for it. So this is an origin story of Zatanna. Now, I'm not a big DC fan, so I don't know if this is a retcon or a reboot of her origin, or we are finally seeing the origin of Zatanna. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you know which one of those, you know, I feel awesome, I like all this. And again, they are grounding it in reality, but without making it too boring, like too grounded. Like when I don't mind a little bit of grounding, but basically this is all about magic versus tricks. So are you a conjurer, or do you know magic? That's the heart of this story. Here's a woman that's trying to get Zatanna to do one of the big hotels in Vegas, but she's happy where she is. And I won't give any spoilers away. But what I will say is I think this is going to get better and better. They're introducing some weird and wonderful characters, and yeah, artwork is superb. Story is very, very intriguing. Here's a weird audience member that isn't all that she appears to be. And we've reached the staples, guys, so I won't give you any more spoilers other than that. Other than to say, I do recommend. And it's not your typical superhero fare, which I enjoyed. Again, like the same with Grommets, you know, don't get me wrong, I love superhero fare. Which leads me on nicely to this superhero fare. Wow, guys, this book, it ramped up so much. Look at that cover. I mean, Jason Fabok's artwork on this is absolutely glorious. You know, giant turtle gunships, and Rook hooked into the net. It's surrounded by wild animals. I mean, come on, look, the devil, they all look evil. This was absolutely glorious. I just, you know, bits like this where the sun is shining behind them, and just the colouring on it. Who's doing the colouring on this? Oh, Brad Anderson. Yeah, right. Oh, glorious from Brad Anderson. You know, a veteran of comic book colouring. But the artwork, absolutely superb on this, guys. This is the book of the week. The first two issues introduce us to all the characters we need to know. Dire Wolf, her helmet links her to the wolves. Rook obviously links him to the birds, and then it goes from there. You know, and Fabox and Jeff Johns are making her sexy enough without going over the top, without making it a 90s image comic book. And setting up the world's been set up, but the big reveal is this place. the Oasis, where everything is controlled by the main man, Carapace. Or anyway, Carapace. I'm going to say Carapace, and we're going to keep it at that. And they want to save the planet. And I love these gunships, these giant turtle gunships. This is what Rook and Direwolf are on this boat. But look at this artwork; it's absolutely beautiful. Brad Anderson's colouring. You know, just a nice long shot of look what everything that's going on, where we are, what we're doing, but nevertheless not shying away from the characters we need to know. And then beautiful shots like that. And there, you know, I can see that there is an underlying underlying theme of, you know, you look at this. Pure sci-fi. Pure sci-fi. That's the enemy on his way, crushing all of nature. But yeah, so there is an underlying theme of not climate change so much, but you know, save the planet and look after nature and be at one with nature. But I mean, I think I've shown you guys enough without giving too many spoilers away. Yeah, all of not just this, but all of these Ghost Machine titles are really, really worth a read. Jeff Johns is going all out. He's saved his best till now. Fabok on this, Brian Hitch on Red Coat, and I did have to forget an artist, didn't I? It's Jeff Johns and on Geiger, Gary Frank. Yay, I remembered. Gary Frank, and yeah, they are 3 awesome comic books. But anyway, cover of the week. Does a blood slope claw do it for you as a comic? Does an angry Superman with Matrix on his face, you know, is that in his head, or I don't know what that is. Philip Tan has done some glorious covers for this one. You know, what's not to love? Wolverine, Cap, and Black Widow. I still think even Cagle on these detective comics. Now, this won't get cover of the week, but I've got to show it off because I just love the design work on this, and the fact that you have to look for a little while to see the subtlety. In his line work. I love it. Absolutely love it. Not so subtle is John Romita Jr. with Daredevil, which, you know, he's not having a good day, is he? And I did love the design work of this You and I. The fact that, you know, you see the shadow world in the lettering. I like the format of that, the design work on that. Midnight Suns, Ghost Rider, Blade, and a bloke with a pile of skeletons. I mean, you know, that's pretty horrific. And also, just a little shout out to Peter Gross, or Peter Gross, however you pronounce it, to his absolutely bang up job of drawing all of these animals for Animal Pound. This is a really great comic as well, by the way. I think I have recommended it before. If not, I know it's cover of the week, but go out and get it. By issue 4, this one, you know, the story is really moving forward in a way that you don't expect. But as a cover, I think this is just a gloriously well-defined illustration of animals on the front of a comic. how he's doing different rabbits and yeah. So full marks to Peter Gross. But what's the cover? I don't think it's this one because there's nothing going on. That's static. That's just animals. You know, we're not going to spend our pocket money on that, guys, are we? Again, Daredevil getting beaten up. I suppose we'd keep it there. Bit of a monster going on, but no. The teeth again are out, but no. I think we've got to keep Cap. Black Widow, I mean, that's a glot, and Wolverine. I mean, Superman's angry, but... and that's just a claw, isn't it? So, you know, without quoting Jim Carrey, it's going to be out of these two Marvel ones. I think we're going to get rid of Daredevil because he is just... it's intriguing, but out of these two, I know it's book of the week and it's going to get cover of the week, guys, because do you know what? That's got it all going on. Giant turtle gunships with your main character hooked up, Matrix style, to something with all these evil animals in the background. Now, if that does not get you wanting to pick this comic up, I don't know what is going to, because even if you haven't read the first two issues of this comic, you're going to think he's a robot, maybe, or he's a cyborg. But why are all these animals evil? And why have these giant turtles got gunships on them? So for me, that's why that gets cover of the week. And if you stayed with me this far, guys, thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate all your comments. I know that there's a couple of you over from Threads and there's a couple of regulars now. I really do appreciate every single one of your comments. And you know I get back to every single one of you as well. So please keep it all up. Let me know what you've been reading. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what I've just said. And until next time, I will bid you all adios.